Welcome to Career Canvas with Sandra Wu, the podcast where creativity meets strategy to shape a career and life you love. Today, we're diving into the leadership journey of someone who has mastered the art of change, strategic thinking, and people-first leadership. I'm thrilled to welcome Jacynthe, a seasoned leader with over 2 decades of experience in higher education, business administration, and operational leadership. Jacynthe's leadership philosophy prioritizes people, fosters transparent communication, and articulates a clear vision to inspire cohesive teamwork. Whether crafting operational strategies, spearheading HR initiatives, or streamlining processes, her goal remains the same: empowering individuals and organizations to achieve ambitious goals through collaboration and innovation. Her career is a testament to adaptability and impact, with roles spanning academia, business management, financial operations, and hospitality. Currently, Jacynthe is the chair of the Business Administration Department at the School of Business and Hospitality at Algonquin College. Before this, at the University of Ottawa, Jacynthe spent over 21 years in key leadership roles, including Manager of Academic Programs at the Faculty of Medicine, Manager of Student Accounts in the Financial Resources team, and Supervisor of Academic Services at the Faculty of Arts. In these positions, she was instrumental in enhancing operational efficiency, building strategic alliances, and fostering a culture of collaboration within post-secondary environment. Jacynthe's leadership journey began in the hospitality sector. This diverse background has equipped her with a unique perspective on leadership, operational strategy, and change management, making her a versatile and forward-thinking leader. Let's dive in and start painting the canvas of your career, one bold stroke at a time.
It's my pleasure to meet you. So I know that you have 2 decades of experience, in coaching, leadership development, business administration, and also supporting the higher education. So I would like to know what is your style, and also you mentioned, you focus on people. Mm-hmm. So what does it mean?
Mm-hmm. What differentiates me in part is I'm very people-centered. I do enjoy anything that has to do with creating a vision in leadership, being people-centered, and ensuring that there's good communication and collaboration.
Can you give us some past example, like where you focus on people, and like you talk about people-centric leadership and people-centric approach?
Right. Mm-hmm. I've been inspired to do this from the hotel industry. I spent 10 years in the hotel industry prior to education, and it's a very special niche. And the hotel company that I worked for, the chain, was with limited services. So for many years, I would work the 3 to 11 shift. Mm. I would work the 3 to 11 shift, and there was only 2 individuals, me and someone else, working in the hotel for 211 rooms. And so what that meant was that any decision, anything that happened during that shift, we were held responsible for making the decisions. So that's where, because my employer needed me to be able to make the decisions and be autonomous, and gave me trust and empowered me, this is where it came from me, because I enjoyed it so much that I thought it made me feel like it was my hotel.
Oh, nice.
The fact that I was empowered to make decisions and that I could show leadership on a daily basis really gave me that. To this day, when I drive by that hotel, because it's still there, I get that feeling that was mine. And I want that from my teammates. I want that from my employees. I want them to feel like whatever project we work on, it's theirs, and that they have influence on how it's made. And when you live this for many years, if you go in an environment where it's restricted and you cannot make decisions, and that you're just applying rules, and you can really see the shift and the difference. So that's why I try to bring this to people under my leadership. And I find that it's a great way to get the best out of them. They will bring ideas, And if you have a very clear vision and that you can communicate that vision and your expectations properly, you can go on vacation and you can trust that people will make the right decisions because it's clear to them which direction they should be taking. You don't have to continuously be micromanaging because people are trusted within the responsibilities of the role. They can function without you. You don't, and then you can put your energy into other things than just supervising. So I started in the hotel industry, and I was working at the front desk. So I was at the reception, and I did that for a few years. Then I became supervisor of the front desk, and for that hotel chain, then assistant manager. So I was able to, step by step, fairly quickly, move to leadership jobs. Now, what's important to understand is that leadership is not just a title or a role, right? It's, it's skills, it's competencies, and one can have leadership at any level in any role. You don't need a title to do it. Within your realm, within your tasks, you can have vision, you can communicate, you can motivate. So I always ensured that I was doing this no matter what the role I was in. So that opened opportunities for me, I think.
Okay.
So I started in the hotel industry, and then I did, I had an entry job, level job at the University of Ottawa. And again, within the University of Ottawa, I was able to acquire various positions as I was getting stronger and develop my competencies.
Okay.
And you have to understand where you fit within an organization, what your role is, what you can bring. You may not have influence on some decisions or influence some irritants that are out of your realm, but you can influence what you can, and you can speak of a vision and encourage people to have a similar vision and moving positively. It's easy to criticize when we work for an organization or a company. It's easy. However, if you can bring ideas and convince and bring people towards growth, that's leadership.
Okay, awesome. So now, if leadership were an art form, what would yours look like? Would your leadership be a interpreted dance, abstract painting, a song?
If it was related to art, that's actually an easy one.
Okay, an easy
That's
one.
an easy question. It would be orchestra conductor.
Okay.
And it's original for some, but for others it's not. It's actually a known leadership model, the conductor leadership model. And I stumbled upon that when I was being coached in my job. It's important to always want to grow and learn things and develop skills. And I had identified that I wanted to be a better communicator for my vision for teams. So I received coaching. And as I was explaining this, the coach put together various elements and was able to illustrate what I was looking for, which really was to be a great conductor in the workplace. So now I have that vision, that illustration on a regular basis that I can refer to when I want to be my best. And what the conductor does really is the conductor doesn't know how to play each instrument in the orchestra. They trust that each individual is well trained, ensure that the people are masters in what they do, and the conductor ensures harmony, that all the different parts, all the different groups, all the different individuals work well together and creates art.
Okay, I like that.
It's very visual and empowers each individual, gives them each power. But then your job is to make sure they all work well together and to remove barriers. And yes.
Awesome.
To add to what I've already said, I was really blessed. I was very lucky to have many great mentors, great leaders, great managers that I could look up to and learn and steal some of their qualities a little bit and determine this works well with me, surely will work well with other people. And I've seen this not only in the hotel industry. My first real mentor, Dean, hey Dean, was one that really had a great influence on me. And I've had quite a few really good mentors after that in the education industry. Yes.
Yeah. You want to mention the name?
Isabelle and Sonia. Also. And each individual, I was able to, I used the word steal from. So there was a great quality. For example, Dean in the hotel industry, one of his great qualities, he would share his failures with his team. Not just what made him look good and what succeeded and everything else. He was letting us learn through his mistakes as well, which I thought was very interesting. And I borrowed that from him. If I make a mistake, I'll share it with my colleagues or my employees so that they can avoid making the same mistakes as I do. So I'm very transparent about that. From another person, from Isabelle, what I've learned is objectivity. To always stay focused no matter what, not letting emotions get to you and affect your judgment. So I've had a lot of very good mentors that I've in the hotel and especially in the education world. Very lucky.
Yeah.
There's nothing harder, I find, than managing people. And you might think that you have figured it all out, that you know how to approach this type of problem or these types of conversation. Then you have a new individual and you try the same thing, the same approach, and it doesn't work. You constantly have to adapt. And I find you never truly excel. You're always challenged. And that's something to enjoy about human resources.
Yeah.
Right? So, humanity. I like that.
Yeah. It's like managing human resources is the fun part and it's the worst part.
Absolutely. It's challenging. And do you find that it forces you to look inwards as well?
Yes. Yeah, it forced me to look at my limitation.
Right.
Yeah. And forced me to pay attention when I'm going to snap and try to get a hold of myself.
And determine why.
Yeah.
When you feel something, right? You learn about others through what you're going through.
Yeah.
I had one of my latest mentors who would say, when I would share something that was difficult, what can this person teach you? If it's really hard and it brings an emotion up, there's probably something you can learn. So try to look at it in a positive way, because this person is teaching you something, if not about humanity, but maybe about yourself.
Yeah.
Very wise person.
Yeah.
I get that. Colleges and universities, when it comes to education, we have to move quickly. We have to adapt. It's always changing. And it's exciting, but it's very challenging as well. Because as you develop processes or you're getting comfortable with something, you have to adapt to the environment. Because that's what makes us bring value to societies, that we adapt and then we educate. So that's a bit of a challenge because we're constantly changing. And even if you're strong with change and you can easily adapt and be quick on your feet, you can work with individuals who are really tired of change. They call it change fatigue. And they can be just exhausted and tired of once again changing things or being positive about a change. So that can be a big challenge in the education world. It's not just a job, it's a bit of a calling. And therefore, I find that the people that we work with, they're very generous, they're very open, and they're not very selfish individuals, although sometimes they will worry about their reality. They tend to want to see the big picture because we all have the same big picture, which is to educate and offer opportunities to individuals and ensure that we contribute to making our society a better place by education. So I think one of the rewards is the individuals that education attracts.
It's very easy to get discouraged. How can I bring myself back up?
That's a big question.
It's a big question, yeah.
I think you have to be wise enough to understand how to play with opportunities. So you can have a great idea, but it's just not wise to bring it forward right away. Sometimes with a little bit of patience, the right opportunity, the right conversation, the right problem sticks his ugly head. And it's then it's the right time to introduce something that you've been holding on to. So sometimes I think it's worth slowing down, being prepared. If you have something you really want, just look for the right opportunity, the right timing to bring it forward, and not to bring it forward too fast. Because then once something is rejected, it's harder the second time to bring it again. But sometimes with just a little bit of patience. And oftentimes I find the craziest projects or things that you think will never be accepted come from a place of there's a big need, there's a big issue that shows up, and then people are open to hearing your ideas. So sometimes what can help is if you just hold on to these ideas, develop them, be sure that you do all the work in the background, and be ready to just bring the project or the idea forward when there's a problem, and you can bring it as a solution. So sometimes it's strategic.
Timing.
Does that answer?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, does that help?
It helps.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So sometimes, you can't bring it forward right away, but you can actually work on it and just be strategic.
Yeah. Timing.
Timing.
It's all about timing.
Absolutely. And taking advantage of problems. But you can do the work with the stakeholders in the meantime, finding and preparing your plan and your arguments. Yes, and your solutions. You can do the legwork in the meantime. And as you consult with your stakeholders, perhaps they will see opportunities and they will speak on your behalf.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What are some common misconceptions about leadership that you have encountered?
Probably one that you have to know everything. You don't. You have to surround yourself with people that are very knowledgeable and very skilled, but you don't need to know everything about every subject there is. So that would probably be one misconception. To refer to something that I've mentioned a little bit earlier, that you can't make mistakes and that everything has to be perfect. You can take risks, and you can share and be open and humble and share your mistakes or things that you would do differently if it was to surface again.
For those who are aspiring leader or trying to move up from an entry level position to a managerial position, so what would be what advice would you give them?
I would hard work. It doesn't come to you. It's not going to be given to you unless you're really, really lucky. But you do have to work hard. You do have to continuously want to grow. I think that's a quality that a good leader would have, or if you aspire to be a leader, you have to be critical of yourself without being negative about yourself, but be able to determine what skills you still need to develop, what there is to learn. I think that's very important. Otherwise, they're stagnating, which is one of my favorite words, stagnating, because you can bring it up in so many ways, and you don't want to stagnate. And know yourself, know your limits. Yeah.
Okay. Should we try to push our limit? This kind of is a debate, right?
Right.
Yeah. Some people say it's smart to know your limit and avoid it. And some would say push it a little, if you want to be like the term.
Yes.
Out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
So how much, or really just, different time, different style.
You have to know what you excel at and where you'll bring value. So if you're an introvert and you don't And on top of that, you don't enjoy the company of others. Because the two are not, introverts can really enjoy company of others. But let's say not only are you an introvert, so it takes energy to be around people, but you don't so much enjoy the company of people on top of that. And you go into sales, you're not setting up yourself for success, right? So to know what your strengths are and where you bring value and where you'll excel is a gift, I find. If you know, and to know what you really struggle with and either go get help and develop those skills or stay away from those or surround yourself with people that have those skills. I think that's very beneficial.
Okay. I'm trying to picture.
Yes.
I'm trying to picture it. Okay. So I limit and strength.
Yes.
So we're saying is know my limit, know my strength, but on this side where I have my strength.
Yes.
Right? And push a little, like get out of my comfort zone.
Absolutely.
With my strength.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With your strengths. Well said.
Respect my limit is this. Right? If I'm not this type, I'm not built for this, then this is my limit. Yeah. But understand this is where my strengths are, where I add value. So focus on that part and try to get out of my comfort zone.
Yes, based on those.
Yeah.
And knowing your limits. If you're terrified to speak in public, doesn't mean you can't have roles where you'll be asked to speak in public. It just means that you'll know that you'll maybe have to practice, go get help, go join groups that will help you develop that skill. But maybe you won't be someone who presents at conferences 40% of their time at work. It could be a bit challenging. So it doesn't mean that you can't have a role that brings on those challenges, but it should be dosed. And you can learn bit by bit to develop those skills if you need to.
Okay. In proportion. In proportion.
Exactly.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I hear what you're saying is if I'm not ready to be, to be a Toastmaster.
That's the group I was thinking of. Thank you.
Yes. But it doesn't mean I have to go out in a conference and push myself to speak in front of 2,000 people. Like that is not the right size of a goal.
You can start smaller.
Yeah,
right.
Just,
Exactly. Know your limits, but you can slowly push.
Yeah, but speak of my idea in front of a small group, even or for a very short period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you have the ability that some people have to just be great actors and just go, it's showtime. Like I'm not myself. I can just project it. And I've used that a few times where it was just, okay, just get it done. You're an actor. You can get this done. I've done this. It's a great tip for interviews to calm your nerves a little bit.
I'm an actor?
Yes,
okay.
I'm an actor.
Okay.
Because everybody thinks they could be actors in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Watch a movie, I could act. I could do this. Well, there's your chance. When you find yourself in difficult situations where you're pushed, where you're uncomfortable, pretend you're an actor and just get into the role and feel it.
Okay, I'm going to try that. Why not?
In stressful situations, it can help.
Yeah.
Curiosity. I'll say curiosity for the human experience is something that's important. Try to understand others when you're leading. So the more you're curious about what it means to be human, how people feel, how people react, the better equipped you will be to deal with individuals. Curiosity to always want to develop yourself, to always want to grow. And being humble, I think, will allow you to be curious about people and to be curious about just knowing more and developing your skills. One thing that worries me the most, I used to manage teams that would do customer service. And I was always worried when someone would tell me, I don't need to go on this training about customer service because I've been on so many. I excel at it and I've reached a maximum. Or if a professor says, I have been teaching for so many years, I have nothing left to learn. To me, that's a concern, because I want people to always be curious, to be able to determine where there's room for improvement, and that comes through training. So that's something I'm always a little bit, that usually generates other conversations when someone tells me, I excel at this, I don't need to learn anymore. And for leaders, I think it's very important to be very critical and always try to learn more and be better at what we do.
Okay.
Especially the soft skills.
Okay. So
Curiosity of human condition, the human nature, curiosity to develop your skills and your knowledge continuously, and to be humble enough to know that you need to develop those.
Okay. Okay. So wherever we are in life and in career, whatever level in the organization, these are the three things we need to carry in our toolbox all the time.
Thank you. Well said. In any level, in any role. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could describe your leadership journey with a movie title, what would that be?
Yes. So you did send me that question ahead of time. Thank you, because I never would have been able to come up with it on the spot. So thank you for giving me the time to reflect on it. And I've decided that it would be The Unconventional Path, Leading with Heart, would be the title of the movie.
Okay.
So Unconventional Path, because I didn't go to university right after high school. I did take a break for many years. I went back to school. I went to do my bachelor's degree when I was in my 30s. That's when I was ready. I wasn't ready at 18, 19. So I went to work in the hotel industry. Then I did go to university, working part-time, full-time, studying part-time, and it took me 8 years to get my bachelor's degree. So that was in my 30s, and in my 40s, I did my MBA. So perhaps a bit of an unconventional path, where I didn't go to university or college right after high school. It's much easier if you do go to continue your education right after high school. By the way, I don't necessarily recommend a break, but that was my journey.
Yeah, but you're working full-time. You're working full-time and studying, because I think nowadays this is a reality for a lot of people. A lot of people, they don't have the luxury to just study. They have to work. Yeah, and
absolutely.
In some cases, I don't know how it works. I know a lot of students, they have to work full-time and study full-time.
I agree.
Yeah, so how,
choices, a lot of sacrifice. Because I was older in the classroom, especially for my bachelor's degree, how I was receiving the information and how I made sense of it, my reality was much different than people with a bit less work and life experience. So there is a definite advantage at going back to school or to do a new degree or learning new skills. How you make sense of the information and how important it is to you to truly understand, and not just for the grade, but truly understand the concepts. It's important. It does bring value. Thank you for mentioning that. You're absolutely right. The experience is not the same.
Yeah. Okay. So what if you can give advice to the younger version of you, what would that be? Because I think it's going to be very helpful for me and also for people that are listening to this episode.
I love that question. And I love when people share what they would tell their younger selves. I'm just very happy with the path that I've chosen for myself. So I wouldn't change anything about my path. What I might tell my younger self is something that I tell myself on a regular basis now, which is, and for me, it has a lot of value and it resonates with me. And it's easy to be good, to be positive, to be energetic, and to excel when everything's going right. You don't get a medal for that. It's when things don't go well and you have all sorts of obstacles in your way, that you truly see what you're made of. If you will still remain collaborative, teamwork, positive, if people will still want to work with you. It's when things go wrong. That's when you can judge yourself and see what you're made of, not when everything's going well. So I tell myself that when at work and throughout the years, when I'm faced with big challenges, things are not going that well, where it's like, okay, now I'll see what I'm made of. Can I still stay positive? Can I still have a clear vision? Can I still inspire and lead people? Or will I just become negative and just be a less positive version of myself? So I think that saying would have helped when I was a bit younger, or trying to figure out my career or who I was. So it's easy to excel when things are going well. You shouldn't get a medal for that. It's when things are not going well that you're truly tested and we see what you're made of.
Yeah. When things are not going well, then our integrity, our personal belief, right? Everything get tested.
Wow. Well said.
Right. So
well said.
So now I know that you have a coaching business. Yeah. So are there any memorable moments?
There's nothing more beautiful than as you work with someone, there's a point, we call them in training, when you go for your certification for coaching, the school that I was with, we call them ha-ha moments, where the individual, you can see the light bulb and they realize something that's important to them, that explains something of value to them. And you can see it in the body language. You can see how they express it. So when they reach that introspection and they understand something about themselves, that's memorable. That's memorable to me. And just being part of that journey and the trust that someone gives you to allow you to be part of this and that conversation is beautiful. But yes, when you see that realization, the person finds their own solution to something that's been nagging at them or an issue that they have, when they bring their own solution, it's a beautiful thing to witness.
Nice.
Very privileged.
Okay, very good. So where can people find you? You have a website?
I do have a website. It's eliteproactivecoaching.com. So eliteproactivecoaching.com.
That wraps up another inspiring episode of Career Canvas with Sandra Yuk-Sim Wu. Jacynthe's leadership journey reminds us that leadership exists at any level, in any role. It's about embracing change, empowering people, and leading with purpose. As you navigate your own path, remember to seek out great mentors, be generous with your knowledge, patient in the face of challenges, curious in your growth, and humble in your success. I hope today's conversation has given you fresh insights into strategic leadership, collaboration, and resilience. If you found this episode valuable, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit from these lessons. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep creating, keep learning, and keep shaping a future you love.